today you're gonna watch the best reaction, which tackles a topic that's been taking the unemployment world by storm, which is working a 9 to 5
You call this fast food? My grandma moves faster than this.
harder than streaming?
Oh my god, thank you for the donation. This is amazing. Let's go.
Okay, quick side note. I don't know why the generated clip of the Indian dude had such a hard Indian accent. I literally did not even prompt Gemini to do that. It just took the creative freedom into its own hands. A little weird, I guess. But you're gonna hear some good takes.
If we all got paid the same every single month, let's say just in simple terms, we all got paid $100,000 a month, a crazy amount of money. Would you guys still, truthfully, I'm asking a serious question, would you guys say that all of our jobs are harder than each other, truthfully?
Some bad takes.
I think something you guys aren't taking into account. Say we get a brand deal, I gotta post on an Instagram story. I gotta go find the 4 local cans.
He is clearly rage baiting. But we're gonna get through this. By the way, this is only part 1 because I'm a slow editor and getting back into YouTube. So hit that notification bell to stay tuned for the next video. To be honest, I feel like Faze is already rage baiting all of these guys. These guys are so angry. They do not look happy at all. I don't want to be that guy. Half of these look like teachers I used to have in elementary school. Like, I know for sure this one looks like my first grade teacher, and she hated me for no reason. I swear. I think she was just genuinely racist. Like, I was just an Indian kid chilling out. I was a little weird, right? Freaking, I don't know, because I was like 6 years old. She was just blatantly hated me for no reason.
What's up? How's it going?
Same old different day.
Okay. So
Are we sure this guy's a 9 to 5?
my argument here is that streaming and social media creation is hard.
Is it true he did like Ozempic? I saw a clip of it. Maybe I'm like misinformed. I heard it like makes your bones brittle or something. We'll find out. We'll find out in 10 years if he has like 45 broken bones.
Harder than a 9 to 5.
Facts.
Nah, it's not facts, bro. 9 to 5 is way harder, homie.
Why do you say that?
Because you gotta get up every motherfucking day, go to the motherfucking bullshit job, and slave for fucking pennies.
Have these guys tried to like do something they enjoy? I feel like a 9 to 5 that you enjoy is something that you would actually like find not detrimental to like your life. Like, this guy seems like he hates his life.
See, that's the thing is you're right. You get up every day, you go through the
You're overwhelmed because you're.
Whoa, how did I already have an ad? That was like 1 minute in. Yo, they're gonna freaking farm me for money, bro. I guarantee every 3 minutes it's gonna be an ad. It's like Twitch.
good night's sleep. You don't have to be focused. You don't have to be locked in. You wake up, you go, you flip some patties, maybe you sign a few envelopes, answer a few phone calls. With streaming and social media creation, you have to be on your game 24/7. It's like a switch that never turns off.
When you're a mail carrier, I'm a mail carrier, and I'm gonna tell you something, man. I get treated like shit every motherfucking day.
We have to deal with thousands, tens of thousands of people critiquing every little thing we do, every decision we make, every thought we have.
You guys got it made, man. I wish I had it made like y'all.
We don't have to sign a few envelopes and put them in a mailbox. We have
got
to
it gravy, bro.
What's the next trend? What's the next idea? Oh my God, I have to stream today.
I got dogs.
Okay. To be honest, that's facts though. When it's a 9 to 5, it's like you have things that you do, okay? Your existence as a 9 to 5 worker is already set. Like, you have a regiment, you do XYZ, right? If you have a job as a mail carrier, your responsibilities are completely limited to being a mail carrier, right? The most similar thing that I can see to streamers is like performance-based compensation packages at very fast-paced environments. Like mail carrier, very slow pace. You just do like the same things over and over again. And why I say it's like performance based, like quant, I feel like would be very similar to streaming, because you have to be like very quick on your feet, follow trends, be entertaining. But as a quant, you have to be very vigilant, understand what is going on in the market, what is the performance of your investments that you have currently. It's like a similar thing. Like streaming, you have to be very quick. Social media, you have to be very quick to like trends and stuff. Mail carrying, nah, I don't know, man.
I want to bite my ass
and you have lunch breaks. You have lunch breaks. We don't have breaks. We're on 24/7. You got high energy 24/7.
I wish I could be at home like you and kick back and get paid big money.
We're not even at home. We're walking around. We're walking around doing things, going to parties, doing all this stuff.
I got to slave just for not even $100,000 a year. I got to work double overtime. Bullshit.
Okay, what about this? You're guaranteed to get paid.
Chat, maybe if you don't like your job, just switch. I don't know what else to say. Maybe just switch.
Have a
No, I'm not.
steady rate.
You're not guaranteed?
I don't work, I don't get paid. It's simple as
Yeah,
that.
but you have a guaranteed pay.
Guaranteed pay if you
No,
work.
I
That's
don't.
your decision if you don't want
I
to work.
gotta work at the job for
If I don't go
years.
live, I don't
Just
get paid
to
either.
collect.
We don't got to deal with people spamming L's.
Yes, we
Huh?
have people in
Okay, that's rage bait. That's rage bait. That's rage bait. That was a joke. That has to
the
be.
chat spamming L's. Oh, this is frustrating. We don't like this video. You have to create content. Imagine you have to be
Where's this located at? I feel like this is very like New Yorky. Like,
high energy. Oh, hey guys, how's it going? You guys like this stream?
That's me 24/7. I'd rather do that.
So why don't you become a streamer?
Man, that's what I want to do. F that. F does not define shit.
If streaming is so easy, how come every single person in this seat is not a streamer?
People are
okay, facts.
lazy. They want to put in the work.
But streaming is very luck based. It's very luck based. Like a lot of these people, if they had the chance, they would be a streamer. But it's like a coin toss. You have to actually be lucky.
I get called fat all the time.
Oh, so what? I get called fat and chubby. All my homeboys call me chubby, fat,
Well,
whatever.
That's your homeboys, though. I'm gonna keep it a buck. That's a
Yeah,
homeboy.
yeah. And you right, homeboy. You right. But check this out, my nigga. I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna go out there and get that bag.
I think she's got something she wants to say.
Oh my gosh, wait, we're seeing a flag.
Oh my god. Oh my god. It's my first grade teacher.
Unfortunately, these flags are actually useless. We decided to use a timer instead because we suck at explaining things.
So you raised your flag. Is there a reason you did
Yeah,
that?
because I was actually a cook for 15 years. So that means for 15 years, I had to get up practically every day, get dressed, go to work, and I had to deal with not only adults, but I also had to deal with children.
We deal with children every day, too.
We deal with tens.
Yeah, these guys' entire audience is children, no? Look at Jason DeWeen. Come on now. Like,
Thousands of children and adults.
The Lacey Thugs are. Do you not know who the Lacey Thugs are?
I can't go out in public without 10 kids coming up and asking for a picture.
exactly. It's literally just.
You know how hard that is of a life?
Isn't that
Okay, that's rage
That
bait.
is difficult.
How long do you think this is going to last?
Forever.
Forever.
You think this
hopefully.
is going to last forever?
I hope so. You just proved my point for me. I don't have that security that's gonna last forever. Having a job, being
That's
a
why he
cook,
gotta
you
grind.
have that security of, oh, I have a job, I have a degree, I have this. This could end for.
True. Actually, a base take. If for some reason they get deplatformed, would be sad for them. They can't. There's no other job they can do unless they have fundamentals in a different field. Like, unless they understand. Like, oh, holy crap! I lost my train of thought looking at Jason DeWeen's face. Like the actual like difference, the space between the eyes actually is like it made me lose my train of thought. It doesn't matter.
For me tomorrow.
Hypothetically, if you all of a sudden you lost all your followers, what would you do?
I know.
Okay, I think best case scenario, if you lose all your followers, go onto Rumble and start gambling.
Get a
No, I'm asking
trigger
him.
warning.
I'm asking him. What would
Job.
you do if you lost completely all your YouTubers? You had nothing. No one watched you anymore. I didn't even watch you anymore. What would you have to do? You would have to actually go to work.
Okay. This is so rage bait. This is so rage bait.
Oh my God, did I just cuss at you?
That's a slur. If I did lose all
Not a job.
my followers, I would probably buy a couple houses and start my real estate empire.
Okay, so then you would have to actually go to work. You would actually have to go to.
No, I feel like being a realtor is like so hard. It's like a very big difference to like streaming.
And I would think that would be a much easier job than streaming.
You gotta go into your setup though and sit in front of studio lights and read the chat and be interactive.
But no, he lost everybody. He lost everybody. He has no followers whatsoever. He would have to turn around.
You're proving my point.
You would have
You're
to turn
proving my
around.
point. You're proving my point on why this is harder because I could lose it all tomorrow.
Yeah, but you could lose it tomorrow.
Okay, but
If let's say you're a cook, right? Let's say you got fired. You have hundreds of people lined up. You could go cook over here, cook over there.
You could be a private chef.
You could be a private chef. Exactly. I don't have that security.
I was a cook in the school system. I cooked all frozen
I told you she was. So yo, something to do with school, bro.
food.
But you still cook.
You still cook. You go cook for another school.
I think I saw a flag right here.
Flags. I see red flags.
I'm gonna have to backlight. Yo, Lacey, it's the truth.
Okay, to be honest though, now that I think about it, dude, they could. Okay. Yeah, they might not have any background, but the actual like, they could just create a social media marketing agency because they already have a platform. Even if they got deplatformed.
I think something you guys aren't taking into account. Say we get a brand deal. I gotta post on an Instagram story. I gotta go find the 4 local cans.
Okay, Adept is clearly just rage baiting. He is clearly rage baiting. Everybody else at this moment have had like instances where I feel like the argument is formulated in some sort of logic. Adept is clearly rage baiting. That's clearly a rage bait, and these guys are falling for it so easily.
I gotta make sure, I gotta make sure I get the 4 local can. And
Not to mention,
That's clearly a rage bait. I would be doing that too.
You have to do work. That's what we have to do.
it ruins our Twitter impressions too.
I gotta tag them.
And then that goes into falling off.
My name is Rhonda. I'm a registered nurse from the South.
Nice to meet you,
From
Rhonda.
Arkansas. 35 years ago,
Holy guacamole,
I
chat.
decided to go to nursing school because I wanted to be a creative, I thought. I loved fashion, I loved acting, I loved singing. But in the South, whole lot of racism. People didn't give a rat's ass if you created something, and they wouldn't support your business. So yes, a 9 to 5 is much harder. I had to work 7 to 3, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. I had to support my daughter.
Rhonda,
You get spoiled.
Rhonda, can I ask you a question?
Nope.
Have you ever done
You get spoiled. No. You get spoiled, and your mama and daddy keep giving it to you.
Rhonda,
Because
I got a question for Rhonda. I got a question for Rhonda. Rhonda,
Yes.
have you ever done a subathon?
Okay, that's rage bait too. That's rage bait. That's rage bait. That's clearly rage bait. That's clearly rage bait. Oh my god, this is so funny. Every time, dude, though, Jason the Ween, why does he, dude?
What's a subathon?
30 days straight.
24
Hours a day.
day and night. No break.
We all streamed for
That ain't even healthy.
You're talking about working 7 to 3. You have 2 30-minute breaks throughout that. You get to go home afterwards, see your family, relax. We were on camera 30 days straight, no personal.
What
You know how
day
hard
were
it
you
is
a registered
to
nurse?
have.
When did you get a break? You clean boo-boo?
When have you ran a 3-minute ad?
You
When have you
clean
ever?
Nah, that's rage.
You never ran a 3-minute ad?
You pass trays, you short-handed.
Talk about the fake relationships that you have.
Oh my God.
Now
It's fake
think
on
about
social
this.
media.
Think about this. Imagine
Sure.
every little person. We call them parasocials. They judge your
Parasocials.
relationships. You can't go out to dinner or have a girl take a picture in your car without them finding out and judging you.
I got caught with
based
my
on it.
ex.
I got
in
caught with
public.
my ex, and I got treated like I was a pedophile for it.
Wait, is that true? How old was his ex then? Like,
Mental health. Mental health. When you stop caring about what people think and what they say about you, do you. Do you. And that's a big problem with younger people. You care about what people think. Social media, what they say about
Because
you.
that's our
job.
You said you're a nurse, right?
35 years.
What do you think's harder? 24-hour open surgery, like when you're helping with, the doctor, et cetera, or a 24-hour stream?
24-hour open surgery.
Oh,
You're short-handed.
We're saving thousands, you're saving one.
okay, that's rage bait. There's no shot. There's no shot. Isn't he isn't the payphone guy? Isn't that him?
All right, so you said 30-day subathon, right?
Yep.
My argument is that none of you guys actually did any of the work during that, and it was all your filmers, your
part of the
editors,
Faze team?
your producers. All these people back here are the ones doing the work. You guys just show up and have fun.
They didn't do anything.
It's a group project.
No, because here's the thing.
Well, that's bad takes.
That's bad takes. That's bad takes. That's bad takes.
They wouldn't have any work if it wasn't for us, though.
I would even go as far to.
Why did this dude start clapping? He didn't want to be left out? Bro, you can't clap with these guys and also clap with these guys, you know?
Every person in this room, we keep them employed as well.
Also, yo, what is the Jason the Ween fake tattoos? Yo, oh my god.
Because here's the thing, we get sponsors from these companies that have 9 to 5s, right? These companies, hold on. These companies are not viable
Whoa.
without
Was that Aura?
influencers
Everybody stop talking?
to push the brand and keep them in business.
Have you ever worked a real job?
No.
So how would you
See,
know?
I have worked a real job.
What was your real job?
I worked 8 months. I worked a double. I worked Walmart and Panera at the same time for a
Why
year.
is she laughing? Bro, she's making me mad.
Uh,
I actually feel like they're wrong.
I don't get the take. I feel like this is. Holy crap.
Hi, I'm Chris.
This guy was clearly a hippie in the 90s, dude.
All right, Chris.
Why do you?
Like, holy crap. This guy definitely had a van, smoking insane amounts of Bubba Kush. This guy was on it, dude. Look at his glasses. I think he's married. There's no way, right? He definitely does not look married. A married person would not be wearing this.
It's not harder than what you do.
Well, you're guaranteed to pay.
Guaranteed to pay.
Yeah.
And that makes it harder?
Yeah. No, it makes it easier for you
Makes
guys.
it easier because we have a...
Okay. If we're talking about holistically all of streamers versus all of 9-to-5 workers, then I do actually agree. Streaming is more difficult than 9-to-5 work because of the fact that 9-to-5 work has a bottom limit to how low you could be paid. Streamers may be playing games, but the majority of streamers will never be paid more than 0.001 cent per hour. Just because of the fact streamers have such a wide distribution of people that can like participate in this occupation, it makes it so like streamers that have like 1 or 2 viewers, 5 or 10 viewers, 15 or 20 to 50 viewers, right? This entire range, you don't make enough money to actually sustain yourself. You are living basically not even paycheck to paycheck. You can't sustain it, right? So that is technically more difficult than if a 9-to-5 worker working in a minimum, like working with the minimum wage would be able to like a 9-to-5 worker can sustain themselves even with minimum wage. It's going to be very hard if you're working at like New York. I don't know why you would be working in New York with minimum wage of $15. I think you should move or just become a degenerate gambler. But most streamers will never make money. So it is technically in that scenario harder because it requires more luck. 9-to-5, you could get up and work at Panera Bread, right? No skill, make $12. Streaming, you could stream for 50 hours every single week and still not make any money.
100%.
Talk about raises.
Makes it easier for 9-to-5 people to have a job because their pay is guaranteed.
When you go to work every day, everyone's
so you're
like...
basing the ease of a job just on somebody getting paid regularly? Is that what you...
No, that's clearly not his take. His brain must be like freaking disintegrated and mushed up by all of the weed he smoked in the 90s, dude. He doesn't get the take.
Well, let's just say that comes to perspective. If you say someone who works food, if you're someone who works a doctor, it's obviously different. But if you're talking abroad, 9-to-5, someone who doesn't need a degree.
Yo, gang, what is he writing down on his hand? I know he's not writing. When I do that, all the stuff that people say literally goes through one ear out the other. I don't even know. Whenever I do that, it's clearly a freaking fake thing to make me look a little bit smarter. Like, this guy is not right. Yo.
Yeah, it's way easier than being a streamer.
How so?
Well, it's because you're guaranteed and you don't need any crazy knowledge. You don't need to go to school for most jobs, like certain things like a 9-to-5. If you wanted to go work at Foot Locker.
Not true. For most 9-to-5s, you probably do need a degree. Like, if you want to work at Panera Bread, I wouldn't even consider that really a 9-to-5. I would just consider that like minimum wage worker, because you don't even technically work 9-to-5 at Panera Bread. They work you like 9-to-9 some days, 9-to-2 some days, and then you're working 60 hours. Like if you're working at like a professional place, then that's a 9-to-5. If you're working at like an actual like place as like a marketer or something like that, then most likely you're working 9-to-5.
I could go to Foot Locker, apply, and then next thing you know, I'm selling shoes for pay every single hour.
So according to you, a job is easier or harder based on the guaranteed pay? That's one aspect of it.
Working
right?
at Foot Locker, working at a job like Panera or wherever Lacey is easier than a streamer, yes, because a streamer you have to come up with ideas, you have to stay relevant.
We're talking about ideas now. Okay,
yeah,
we're talking about pay.
Okay, so what do you want to start with though? But it doesn't make. But
well,
you're not even. You keep switching it. So why don't you answer my question?
I'm not switching anything.
You know, you 100% are.
Yeah.
So how is it harder if you're guaranteed to pay? I worked for 4 years of streaming. I didn't make $1.
Well, what?
Exactly. No, actually true. The people that say that streaming is like super easy, they see a version of streaming that is already after the struggle. 9-to-5 work is more like a uniform distribution where you're usually staying at the same place. Like the amount of money you're making is usually the same. So let's say 1 year in, you're making $19 an hour. 5 years down the line, you're gonna make like, if we're lucky, $27 an hour, right? Streaming is not like that, right? So if we're at year 0, year 1, you're making absolutely 0. There's no shot you're gonna be making more than like $1,000 in a year. But over time, if you keep streaming, the probability gets higher and higher that you make more and more money. But nobody sees that initial streaming time frame. Like nobody sees year 1, 2, 3. People estimate that streaming is harder because they see a streamer being successful 10 years down the line. Even though a 9-to-5 worker may have it easier throughout the entire process, or like may have a little, like a 9-to-5 worker may have it a little bit more difficult throughout the process, a streamer has it very difficult in the first 5-10 years. And then eventually they start making a lot of money and it becomes exponentially easier. So nobody sees that initial process where a person is actually streaming and they only see the ending portion.
What's your definition of hard? That's the thing. It's like what
Stuff
is
that
difficult.
you need creativity, you need to get out of your circle, comfort
Sure.
zone.
Yeah.
You need to be able to actually make people believe what you believe in the sense of like, oh, this is good content. Do you watch any TV shows?
I watch YouTube.
Okay, you watch
so
YouTube.
Much YouTube.
So it's the same thing. So the people that you're
yeah.
entertained by are the people like us, just for a different audience.
That's true, but you're talking about entertainment as a job. We could talk about entertainment.
This is entertainment,
as a job.
but this
yeah,
is entertainment.
Entertainment
But
as
my
a
question
job
to you
doesn't have
is
any
why?
guarantees. Absolutely.
So do you truthfully, you could sit here and think that working at like a Foot Locker or something like that, I'm just using that because that's the best
Sure.
example,
Yeah, yeah.
is harder than a streamer?
It depends on what you are saying the word hard means to you. Because
In the
there's
sense of
hard
everyday
physically,
activity. Because
there's
some
hard-
people around here said, oh, I got to wake up at 7 a.m., 8 a.m. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, we have to do the same thing.
Sure.
Some people do that.
And you deal with yourself.
No, we deal with millions
When
of people.
you're creating that content and you have your phone,
Okay.
you're dealing with you and yourself in that phone.
Okay, so what happens?
You're not dealing with
Not true.
coworkers and you're not
That's not
dealing
true at
with-
all. I have an
Okay.
editor that I pay who relies on me. If I stop doing
Which
any
is
type
later.
of content, he loses
So when
a job.
you go to your job, when you go to work, rather than punching a card, you pick up your phone or you turn on a camera.
Okay, so when you punch the card, let's say, who's above you? Your boss, right? What happens if he just takes the business and he says, oh, we're not doing it anymore? You lose your job.
If the work is picking up a phone or turning on a camera as opposed to going in with a bunch of people and having to multitask tasks you have to do throughout your shift.
Chad, you think his shirt, I'm sorry, I kind of just like stopped it in the middle of his point, but his point probably will suck balls, so I will definitely not care at all. You think Chad, his shirt was in the like the washer with like a pink sock on accident and his entire shirt became pink? Or do you think it's actually made pink?
Yeah.
And deal with your
Tasks you gotta do
coworkers
throughout
and
the stream.
interpersonal thing. Tell me how much you do of that stuff while you are actually doing your job for however many number
Okay,
of hours
perfectly.
that you are talking and typing and shitting and eating and all that stuff that everybody's watching you do.
Go ahead.
No, but there's
Okay, what's
actually
the-
a.
Chad, what is this background dude doing? What is this dude doing? Why is he pretending like he has a flag in the hand, even though everybody has a flag, no? Why not just actually put your flag out?
That everybody's watching you do.
Go ahead.
No, but there's actually a mental aspect.
I understand that, yeah.
No. Let me hear me out.
Go ahead.
Camaraderie. Like you have like a group of people, like friendships, relationships, which is the most important thing in life. So do you build that with your coworkers and stuff like that?
Sorry, bye. See you later.
Seeing a lot of flags.
Oh, wait. They just explained the thing wrong, so they don't even know when to leave or not to leave. Oh, they're trying to copy the other people, but they just made no sense. Okay, I guess so. Now I would be nervous.
So I'm Angelina, and I work as an executive assistant.
You're right. You're right. She's
Okay, Ronaldo's actually funny. He's actually funny. I respect him more. That's actually so funny. She's right. She's right.
I'm not gonna lie. She's right.
All right, so you guys were talking about the mental aspect, and I thought that was really interesting because as someone who works a 9 to 5, technically it's a 10 to 6, but I still have to clock in a certain amount of time. I come home, I'm too tired to cook. Fortunately, I have a beautiful girlfriend that does all of that stuff for me when I get home.
Dude, look at the facial expressions after she said that. GG, that's unlucky.
But if I didn't, I would have to cook for myself and get to bed in time and wake up in time to commute back to my job. You guys talk about how it's hard because there's a mental aspect, and I understand as someone who's been on social media a lot that you get
How long have you
berated.
been on social media? Just to get broad.
So I actually did content creation starting at the age of 14. When I moved to LA, I gained like 10,000 followers off the bat, and I was very young, and I started working with different brands.
Okay.
I totally understand the mental aspect. It's just that you guys can afford to say, hey, I'm gonna go wherever for 2 weeks, and that can be content, that can be your job, and you actually get to relax and travel the world and have other
So you're
opportunities.
just saying a lot of points.
There's no relaxation.
Just so I can answer a couple.
There's no relaxation. It's crazy.
So you were saying like to go back to the beginning, you were saying like you can manage like your time with like relationship. Was that correct? Like you have your girlfriend when you go home, like.
I fortunately have a support system, but I every day like ask myself how I would
So
have
I'll
been
give you
able
a
to do it
perfect
without.
example. So you said 14 you started. I started at 16. For about 3 years, I was making money, and it slowly went super up, and then all of a sudden it went down. Right?
Yeah.
I lost everything, fell off
He was about to
completely.
though.
About to myself. It's a real story. There's a
I see the vision because I remember the payphone. I remember him being very popular at Fortnite, and like I could see him. I can't see himself killing himself. I'm talking about like him losing a lot of money.
It's a real story. This isn't a joke. Why are you smiling?
We've all been there.
She is smiling cheek to cheek. Holy crap, she finds it so funny.
Every 9-to-5 worker has been there.
So
that's
going
why.
back to what you said, how you have a
Okay. Saying that every 9-to-5 worker has been there says something deeper about people and their actual job that they do. I feel like if you enjoy something, why is somebody doing a 9-to-5 they don't enjoy? Like, don't you go to college and like take professions that you enjoy? Isn't it saying something deeper about humans? I'm confused. Don't you pursue something that you're going to enjoy to later enjoy it? No? Is that am I then I feel like it's the same thought. It's like perhaps you should find what you enjoy first to pursue it in a 9-to-5 and then do something more extravagant like creating a company regarding the 9-to-5. You could do that. That's one way of doing it where you aren't upset at your 9-to-5. Like, I don't know.
A support system. I moved across the country from my parents at the age of 19, lived alone in an apartment, was paying a certain amount of money every single month, and I was losing money. I wasn't making enough money to pay my, like I had money in my bank for my rent, but I wasn't making more than my rent.
Yeah.
So I was
You
losing.
were in the red every month.
I was in the
I
red
got
every
you.
single month. Girlfriend broke up with me at the time, so alone
whammy.
across the country. So it's like when you're alone too and everything's going down, where's my support system?
I don't like why she's laughing, bro.
Okay, so I have a question.
I don't like why she's laughing. It kind of reminds me of like first grade. It's kind of pissing me off. Cause yo, Chad, I keep coming back to first grade because like, yo, I used to have to move my card, my green card, to yellow just because she was just angry at my race. Like, bro, like what the yo?
You said that for the first 4 years you started streaming, you had no income. How are you able to survive?
Also, it's actually really unfortunate. I wish I was that necklace. Okay, keep going.
So that to a certain extent is privilege.
That's privilege?
It is.
But my mom, how's that privilege?
It's privilege because you have the support system to have a place to live.
Well, at 15, 16,
Jesus,
I
dude,
hope
this
I
guy-
have parents that would live with me.
Yeah, but a
Chad,
lot
this
of
guy in the
people-
background literally turned the same color as his shirt. That is just insane. These guys are gonna get high blood pressure because of this debate. Like, yo, chill out.
People don't, and they have to
What
take
is that?
9
That's
to
a whole different
5s.
discussion. So a lot of people don't have houses.
A lot of
when they
people
working
don't
9 to
have
5s?
families that support them or accept
But that's a
them.
whole different conversation. What does that have to do with the 9 to 5?
Because they still need to survive. So the fact that you were given
So
the
how did you move to LA?
I moved across the country as well with my mom when I was 15 years old.
Do you not think that's privileged?
Oh my god. Wait. So eloquent. I love that take. That's a great way. That is a really great way to describe the hypocrisy that she just brought into the... If she's bringing in privilege as a statement to say that streaming is easier, what is stopping him from saying that, oh, you also have privilege because you also did the same thing, but you moved with your family? Great take.
I mean, we moved into a 1-bedroom in Santa Monica and shared a trundle bed, so.
Okay, well, I was reselling shoes to afford my mom's mortgage and everything.
I get it.
See, same point.
I've definitely helped my family out in times where I was able to, but I also had to have my family support me in order for me to have certain opportunities to make money in the first place. So if you didn't have content creation, what would you be doing?
It's a great question. I don't know, because I'm not didn't set my goals that way. I set up my life to that. I know I would do what I want to do. If we all got paid the same every single month, let's say just in simple terms, we all got paid $100,000 a month, a crazy amount of money. Would you guys still, truthfully, I'm asking a serious question, would you guys say that all of our jobs are harder than each other, truthfully?
Yeah, if she was a nurse, she had to go to medical school for years just to be able to have her
But
foot
she
in the
knew
door.
that she was getting security because she was going to be a nurse, correct?
Not secure.
How is it not secure?
Oh my god, that's another good take actually. Security is brought by the process of getting a degree. How is being a nurse not secure? Being a nurse and being a doctor is like a medical doctor, is one of the most secure jobs, specifically because there's a shortage everywhere at all times for everything. Actually, good point by Ronaldo. I thought he was rage baiting at the beginning, and I think he's still gonna rage bait after this, but that's actually really good.
Knew what you were gonna do.
Nothing's secure.
Nothing's secure. You just proved my point. But you just proved my point.
No job is secure, but content creation gives you the ability to have those savings, to have an audience, and even.
They don't understand it. I don't think.
If you do lose all your followers one day, even if
let's say I lost it all tomorrow.
You still have residuals of your previous viral videos, even if people are hating on you and shitting on you.
No. That's not necessarily true. And you could say the same about somebody that has a 401k that's yet to be vested and they're just waiting. Like for example, let's say a streamer lost all of their money and they have a portion of money that they didn't use, right? And they have it in a bank or they have it in something, right? So does a 9-to-5 worker. But streaming is in a predicament where you can just completely go from making 10K a month to making 0K a month because you're a freaking bozo and you don't know how to entertain an audience. I don't know.
That's still adding to what goes into your pocket.
There's literally doctors who do one surgery and make hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Because they were trained for decades and they had to go to school.
So are we.
You went to school to be a content creator.
Okay, bad take, bad take. That's rage bait.
Streamer University.
Oh.
Gabe,
college professor.
Doing good. So first of all, I want to say I do respect all of you for what you do. I mean, you guys do work, but you do not work as hard as people who have a regular job.
You don't know that.
I mean, that I do know it for sure. It's very clear. People have to wake up and do their routine over and over again. It's not a daily thing, it's a weekly thing, it's a monthly thing, it's a yearly thing, it's a life thing. And if they screw up, they lose their jobs. And they always have to be careful because if they do something weird, they say something weird to their coworker or their boss, they're gonna lose their job. If you lose some followers because of something you say, you'll get other followers and you have a large following enough.
No, that's also true. If you say a slur, then it's different. If you say like something controversial, you'll lose some followers, you'll gain some followers. If you say slur, God be good, GG, no re. You say the slur on Twitter, it's all over Twitter, and people are unfollowing. At that point, just become a gambling streamer or something.
Where there's enough of a range of perspectives that people will always be on board for you as long as you're producing content. People who screw up at their jobs and lose their jobs, and maybe there's a recession, there's not a lot of jobs, as could be now, they get potentially homeless or worse.
You ever heard of cancel culture?
What's that? Yeah, of course I've heard of it. But how many people have been canceled and came back? I mean, it happens all the time. Your boss is not going to be loyal to you if you don't get that thing in on time 5 times.
Okay, but check it out. Done. Okay, so listen. But to be able to get that loyal following of people that do follow you, you need to build that over years and years and years.
Yeah, okay. Going back to that point,
And hours and hours of trust and communication and intimate relationships with your audience.
Okay, so
that's not something that's just given to you. You don't just fall into 1 million subscribers, 2 million subscribers, 3 million subscribers.
Of course not. It takes work for sure. But what you guys are talking about in terms of the toll it takes on you, a large part of it, and let me tell you something, I'm a little older than you guys, so a large part of it is just general angst from being young, and you just happen to have a camera in front of you and talking to people or whatever, but at the same time, you're doing exactly what most people are doing, which is dealing with life stuff, and that's normal. The mental toll that it takes dealing with people and getting comments and this and that, that's what everybody deals with. But you don't have to wake up at 6 in the morning and get to your job and then be there and be on the whole time, no matter what. Anyone who has a 9 to 5 has to do that.
I said, what do you do?
I'm a college professor, so. I have to do that same
So
sort
you
of.
just gotta come in and teach the same shit for the next 10, 15 years?
Yes, you're right.
Come on, man.
Right,
We
you're right.
already know what you're doing.
We have to produce new shit every day.
For me in particular, to Silky's
Okay, I could compare streaming to more like business building and brand building. Because streaming is more like creating a business, such that if you have a business, people may say that no, yeah, exactly. Like it's like streaming is more like building a business. You grind in the darkness. Nobody knows that you're grinding on your business, and you have to keep creating this thing that you're very passionate about. At the beginning, you're not going to make any money. You're probably going to lose a lot more money than you make. But at the end, you see everybody that has a business has succeeded. And for the streamers, it's the same. You only see streamers that have succeeded. And so it's like comparing a 9-to-5 worker to a business where people say, hey, 9-to-5 work is harder than creating a business or being a streamer, which I wouldn't say is true. It's in the same category as creating something over an arduous amount of time is straining much more than I feel like is something like a 9-to-5 would do.
point, you're a college professor, so you're essentially reteaching the same curriculum to the same students.
That I had to take
what I'm
years
saying?
to learn, but
you know
yes.
what I'm saying? But I started making content when I was 12 years old.
Okay.
It started out playing Call of Duty trick shotting. I don't think anybody in this room could hit a crane shot. I don't know if anyone in this room could quick scope.
I don't know if that's something to be proud of, but okay.
So I had to do that for 4 years, right? And then I'm like, okay. Then I had to do
No, even Jason is like, he's like, yo, is this guy serious right now?
for 4 years,
Okay.
right? And then I had to do Faze Clan, build Faze Clan out, fix Faze Clan, and then do streaming.
Okay.
So
with how many people helping you?
How many people helping me?
Yeah.
Come on now.
For which stages?
All of them. There were a lot. You had a team.
When I was
Was it just you? Like
No. It was just me. There's receipts of this.
It wasn't built on the shoulders of anyone?
There's receipts on YouTube of me.
Okay, well, where did YouTube come from?
When I was
How did
13
YouTube become so
when I was
easy?
13
Because
years
a
old.
bunch of people worked their butts off 9 to 5, making it a thing.
That's
and
what
if
you
it
did
didn't
in the
exist,
previous
if it
voice.
didn't exist, you couldn't press play, you couldn't press record, and then just talk.
The fact that you have a campus to teach on. Then boom, there you go.
Right, but I also had to spend years earning my credentials and mastering.
And I did it.
Come on, guys. Your credentials are playing video games. I play video games on my spare time. Come on, guys.
So you just want to get paid to play video games. It's okay.
Alright boys, thank you so much for watching until the end for part 1. I will be uploading the second part soon, so stay tuned. Remember to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell if you enjoyed.